What's up, interactive math students? This is Mr. Sunderland. Hopefully you are tuning into these lessons and it's paying off in your algebra classes. Guys, learning math without a teacher standing in front of you is exceptionally difficult, so I applaud all of you for doing the best that you can in this extremely bizarre situation. But our lesson that I'm going to work on you guys with is solving a quadratic with square roots. I don't know if we've done this in class or not yet. I hardly even know what day it is anymore. But, you know, if we have done this already, a little bit of review doesn't hurt. But the thing that we have to remember here is that anytime we're undoing x squared in algebra, with a square root, it means we have to actually attach a plus or minus and get a couple answers. For example, if I've got x squared equals 16, you might be saying, well, that means x has to be 4. And you're right, but you're only half right? Because in taking the square root, putting my plus or minus in there gives me positive 4. It also gives me negative 4. Because think, if you plug a negative 4 back in, negative 4 times negative 4 is also positive 16, not just 4 times 4 equaling 16, okay? So that only happens when you're technically undoing an x squared. If someone said, hey, what's the square root of 16? The answer wouldn't actually be negative 4. It would be 4. But in the event of x squared equals 16 and taking the square root of both sides, the answer would be plus or minus 4, okay? Now, your teachers write this a few different ways. One way this is written sometimes is with these brackets here representing the entire solution set. But as I mentioned, we get our two answers here because when you plug those back into the original equation, they both give you an answer of 16. Anyways, doing a couple problems here. We'll do these ones together. If I'm trying to get x by itself, first thing I want to do to both sides is add 43, and I get x squared equals 49. I would then need to undo x squared by taking the square root of both sides, and we'd remember to put our plus or minus in there, hopefully. That's going to separate a 4 answer from an answer that is not a 4. I get my two answers of 7 and negative 7 there. And this one, a little bit more work to do. I've got to undo the minus 5 first. I've got to undo subtraction with addition, so I add 5 to both sides, and I get 3x squared equals 75. To get rid of that 3, we divide both sides by 3, meaning I get x squared equals just 25 now. Now I can take the square root. We have to save that square root for the last thing. Once I get that x squared by itself, now we're good to go to take the square root of both sides, and we get plus or minus root 25. So our answer is going to be plus or minus 5. All right. I'll give a couple for you to practice. Whenever you feel comfortable to jump into these, go ahead and pause the video and work the problems on your own. Okay. So resuming now, in this first one on the left, divide both sides by 2, we get x squared is 100. Taking the square root of both sides, I get plus or minus 10. And you can write your answer just like that if you want. In this next example, we're going to add 13 to both sides, and I get 5x squared equals 45. I've got to get rid of that 5 now. I get x squared is 9, and I get 3 and negative 3. That's my two solutions there. Okay, and we can also write that as plus or minus 3. We can write that as the solution set of 3 and negative 3. So on Pearson, not in Pearson, those are my other classes. On the website there, next to where you found this video, there's also a worksheet you can practice solving quadratics with square roots. The answers are at the end of that worksheet. Hope you guys are doing great. Next time I see you means we'll be able to leave the house, unless I see you at the grocery store. Take it easy, guys. Bye.